This is a review of the Westin HDX winch mount grill guard, which is a combination grill guard and winch tray. You can also purchase these items separately as the Westin Max winch tray and the Westin HDX grill guard. I'll talk a little bit about installation, but this is not intended as an installation video. The grill guard is mounted on my 2017 F-150 XLT Super Crew Cab with the 5-liter V8 engine. Make sure you check compatibility of the product with the year, model, and engine of your truck before purchasing. I'm doing this video for a couple reasons. One is that I searched websites and looked for photos of the HDX winch mount grill guard. I really didn't see a lot of photos of the winch mount on the F-150s. There are plenty of photos of the grill guard by itself on F-150s, but not with the winch tray. Second, I mounted a Warn winch on mine, and again, I didn't find any images online of the Westin grill guard with a Warn winch, so I wasn't sure what it would look like. Finally, most of the photos and images of the Westin grill guard show a roller fairlead, and I went with the black Haas fairlead that came with my VR10 winch. So I wanted to show folks what that looked like in case anyone else was thinking about different winch options or different fairleads. The HDX system is rated for a straight line pull of up to 16,500 pounds, and the max tow hooks are rated for 12,000 pounds each. I also like the look of the HDX with its thicker 2 and 3 inch steel tubes compared to the Go Rhino or the Ranch Hand brush guards. I purchased everything on Amazon: the HDX winch mount grill guard, which includes the Westin Max winch tray, the Warn Xeon VR10 10,000 capacity winch, and the 2 Westin Max tow hooks. The one note on the tow hooks is that they are sold separately, not in pairs, so you have to order 2. I drove around with 1 tow hook for the first week because I made that mistake. The winch tray can be installed just by itself if you just need a winch and don't care too much about how it looks. The tray is actually mounted on these thick arms that bolt onto the frame. The mounting location uses the same 2-bolt mounting locations from the factory tow hooks, plus 2 additional bolts that mount through the existing holes in the F-150's frame for a total of 4 mounting bolts. So with those additional mounting bolts, it's solidly attached to the frame and gives it that 16,500 pound maximum rating. The HDX grill guard actually mounts to the side of the winch tray here, and then via 2 brackets mounted behind the front grill. If you buy just the HDX grill guard by itself without the Max winch tray, it will have a different mount to the frame and also a different front grill. As far as equipment, it just takes basic tools and the right sockets plus some zip ties to help run the cables. All the required bolts and wiring were included. The mounting holes in the winch tray are standard for most brands of winches, so the Warn winch was easy to install, again just using the supplied hardware. The installation videos I watched made it look a lot easier than it really was. Installing the 2 upper brackets requires removal of the headlight surrounds and the entire grille. The installation videos on YouTube make the tow hooks look easy to remove as well, but it took me a while to figure out how to remove the plastic cover around the tow hooks to access the bolts behind it. And I also found that I did have to cut a notch on the air dam. You can remove the bolts from the factory tow hooks without cutting, but because the mounting arms are so deep, you can't angle your socket wrench. It has to be perfectly flush when driving in the bolt, and that drove me to make this notch on each side of the air dam. The good news is that you can't see the notch at all after installation unless you're under the truck. Of course, you lose the factory tow hooks with the installation of the HDX grill guard, and that's why I mounted the Max tow hooks on the winch tray. When using a pulley on your pool, the tow hooks also provide an anchor point on the truck, so the winch doesn't have to work so hard. The installation instructions are basically 2 pages. Again, makes it seem easier than it really is. It took me about 14 hours from start to finish, single-handed. The grill guard comes wrapped in foam, and I'd recommend leaving all the foam wrapping on the grill guard until it's secure on the truck to prevent any scratches or dents in case you lose your grip on it. The instructions tell you to install the grill guard with 2 people, definitely recommended, but if you use the foam blocks that come in the shipping box, you can put those foam blocks in the winch tray and then rest the grill guard on the foam blocks while you're lining up all the bolts to install the grill guard. If you do that, you can install it single-handed. Again, a lot easier to do if you have a second person available, and probably a lot safer too. Alignment was pretty easy. I basically used finger width measurements to align each side and eyeballed it from the front to make sure it was level. It lined up pretty quick. So I think my only 2 criticisms are that the grill guard covers up the front blinkers a little bit, and there's no place to mount a front license plate. I believe I found a solution for each of those issues, and I may post those in another video. So that's it, the Westin HDX winch mount grill guard on a 2017 F-150 with the 5.0 liter V8 engine.